Hi, welcome to the Shelley Studio. Today I am working on a project inspired by the Art Joy of Sharing Facebook group. They have been doing a lot of water media, and this month the prompt for the challenge for the various artists, was to use water media. It didn't have to be watercolors, but I did get some new watercolors, new to me. This is I got a bunch of watercolors from an artist who is sharing some of her used stuff on Etsy, and a bunch of these are DeGran. I will list them below. I know you can't see where I'm pulling them from, but I'll list the colors and stuff that I used below. I really wanted to play with these watercolors since I just got them, and I pulled up some of my images that I have saved on a watercolor inspiration board on Pinterest, and I had this one that just had sort of random color splashes in the background, and then they built up layers to create an image on the front. Now this is paper I've never used before, watercolors I've never used before. You can see that blue is pretty staining. It didn't move anywhere when I tried to blend it out a little bit, but it's okay. We're just playing to see what we can come up with. I do love some of the results I get. Maybe not the overall thing, but this piece did make me happy. I am using that plastic canvas because I just wanted to give some interest to the background. Now, that wasn't on the original image that I was inspired by, but I just wanted to try it and see. So I'm putting some color down and weighting it down and letting it dry, and so the paint will gather in the little holes of that plastic canvas. And you can see there, it leaves a little bit of marks, which is a lot of fun. Now, I'm impatient, and I did hit that with my heat tool. I wouldn't suggest it. I think I've got to go and buy another piece of round plastic canvas because later on I melt it just a little so it doesn't lay flat anymore. So try not to use a heat tool on plastic canvas, especially when you get carried away like me and you want it to dry really fast. So my idea here is to do a little bit of glazing and kind of it's a little bit like negative painting. And yes, I stick my finger in there thinking I'm, blending it because I'm used to doing that with acrylic, but it doesn't work quite that way with watercolor. But the idea here is to do a flower. So I'm just creating some petals. I'm doing a little negative painting, and hopefully we'll get a flower out of this. I think it does end up a little bit too heavy around the edges, but it was sure fun to try, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you give it a try. So about here, I feel like the top has some color in the background and the bottom looks really light. So I'm going to start adding more color to the bottom area. You'll see that in a little bit, just to try and balance that out. I think the top where the rose is still has too much dark of an outline. I don't know if I realize it at this point yet, because I think I do add more up there. But I am adding more color to the bottom just to try and balance out the page. And here's where I do it. I have this thing for sharp edges, and I think that's where I go wrong. See, I want a nice edge along there, so I end up adding all this dark color, try to blend it out. It still feels really heavy. So to kind of get the bottom to match the top, then I mix a little bit of green, and I do that along the edge of the stem, just to kind of make it all go together, hopefully. And here I just, I just keep adding. I want to get more shading, I want more depth, and I want more definition in the flower so you can tell what it is. So here I pull out my white jelly roll pen. I've never been very successful. I mean, you can see it a little bit. Works better on the brown paper of my desk than I feel like it does on the actual watercolor. But it helps give those highlights a little bit, I think. You'll have to give me your opinion. Tell me what you think. And if you do give me your opinion, I'll know you've made it this far, right? So here I decided to pull out one of my colored pencils. I will list it in the description box below. This one's actually kind of a purpley color, and I'm just using it to define the edges a little bit more and create a little shading. I don't know that I show it, but I do use blending step, or tortillon, I think is what they call them, and I blend it a little bit because I'm not a super fan of scratchy pencil marks, though you still see them, and you'll notice them in the pictures at the end, especially around the leaves. You'll notice the colored pencil marks. But I thought it was helping with the shading a little bit. And I just wanted to thank everybody who has subscribed to my channel and watches my videos and hits that like button and comments. I really appreciate your comments, your shares, and your likes. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please let me know. Let me know you've been by leaving me a comment. And here are some close-ups. See, you can see that texture. I kind of love that texture, and you can tell that's colored pencil, but I did blend it a little bit. Anyways, thank you all for watching. If you're not already a subscriber and you'd like to see more from me, please subscribe.